Top 5 Tour, helping you find the best. I'm with Simon. He's the chef and owner of Inati, which is one of the newer establishments in Christchurch. Simon, how did you get into cooking?
I started cooking from a really young age. I was about 12, 13 years old and wasn't so productive at school, and learned that I like to be creative with food, which really led me into that side of start cooking. Just a friend of my mum's put me in the kitchen one day, and that was it. It just sort of took off from there, and I sort of found myself going to the restaurant instead of going to school probably in some days, and you know, from summer jobs to more full-time regular things, and just love that passion, that excitement that a kitchen brings.
And I noticed that accent. That says about a Kiwi accent as mine.
Yeah.
Is it a woman? A woman, you came to New Zealand, it's usually a man or a woman?
Yes. So, Lisa, my wife, who works within the restaurant as well, we met 14 years ago in London, and then moved back to New Zealand 4 years ago.
Oh, fantastic. And you have got a bit of a pedigree. You worked even for like Gordon Ramsay in London. Can you tell me a bit about your history as a chef?
Yeah, I mean, I started working for some great chefs in the likes of John Williams at Claridge's Hotel. Gordon Ramsay, I used to run his kitchen at the Warrington Hotel, and also for Pierre Kaufman at the Barclay. So yeah, I've been very fortunate, very lucky to work with some amazing chefs that aren't really in the kitchens anymore, and I got a chance to have that experience working alongside them.
And now your own restaurant, what can you tell us about Inati? How is it unique?
So for us, Inati is more than just a dining experience. It's having the full experience of the moment you come in here. We treat this as an extension of our house, and the people that come in are our guests, and we want them to feel at home. So the moment they're greeted, they should be, they should be relaxed and welcomed into this inviting environment to explore the experience, because it's not just about great food, and it's not just about great wine or great service. It's the whole thing. It's breaking down the barriers and connecting with our guests that come in, and we get the chance to do that at Inati, having a chef's table.
And Inati itself, it means to share, is that correct?
It does. It means to share, to portion food, or to excel. Yeah. So for us, it really encompasses everything of our beliefs and our ethos and what we want from this restaurant. In order the fact that when our guest comes in, it is sharing plates. It is in the middle of the table, small and large. But the idea is, like, when myself and my wife go out to eat, we love to eat a little bit of everything and try new things, instead of just having that standard 1 or 2 dishes to yourself of an evening. The idea is that to come and enjoy that experience and share in that. And what we love is that any day of the week we can have different parties, different sets of guests come and sit next to each other that would never meet in any other way of life, and they get to share that experience together and actually bond over it. And what we've built here and what we are building on and what we've found is that people then start to share more than the experience together, but they might share their wine or their food. And for us, that's building a bond and something that's not happening maybe somewhere else.
So a social event.
It is.
An eating and social event.
It is an experience that when you are here, you will, the guest dining next to you will try and point you in the right direction. You might say, oh, I'm not quite sure about that. And they were, oh, actually, I've just had it. It's phenomenal. You've got to try it. And don't forget, when you do finish ordering, make sure you have this at the end or something at the beginning. It's that fact that it's never quite finished at Inati. There's always something more to be explained, or something more that we can work with our guests to share that experience and enjoy that next visit back. Yeah. You've never quite had the whole experience for us. That's what we feel.
Yeah. And for you, Simon, the Canterbury region, what are some of the food highlights? What are some of the things worth trying?
It's just phenomenal. I mean, most people isolate, lamb with New Zealand, and we're so super lucky that Canterbury as a region is more than a winemaking region or a food region. There's something very special that goes on here, that everyone works so well and tightly knit together. There's never that one thing. It's everything I find in Canterbury that I love. I love the way the place feels. I love the way the city is, whether you're out in Waipara, up at North Canterbury. There is always something beautiful growing wildly. Someone rearing an animal, a grower that's growing some vegetables. It doesn't mean there's always something. There's something really cool, something unique, something to get your teeth into. And we run true to seasons here. So if the sun's out, but it doesn't necessarily mean something's growing because it's just hit spring, it doesn't mean that peas will be on the menu because it's the first day of spring, because we need the sun to grow the vegetables before we can eat them.
Yeah.
So it's really important to us that making sure that we're seasonal and we're keeping to what's there. So it's what's in the paddocks is what we've got on our plates.
Yeah, yep. So does that involve you going out and meeting some of the producers also?
Hugely. So one of the biggest and most important things for us at Inati is that everything that comes through our front door has a connection, and a personal one at that, between my wife and myself, or we don't use it.
Oh, fantastic.
So when we're talking about a dish we've prepared, we know the grower. If we're talking about a wine that's been made, we've been to the vineyard, we're quite friendly with the winemakers or the owners, and we understand the process or what block that grape has come from in order to make this certain wine. And that enhances the experience with our guests, that when they're asking and talking to us, not just about whether the food might contain an allergy or dairy, but we talk about the wine and whether it's non-filtered or organic or skin on fermented. We know this from first-hand experience of knowing the people personally, and not just having it there because it's that season.
Oh, fantastic. And I dined here the other night, and your price structure is quite interesting, in that you can come in here and sort of dine fairly cheaply, or splurge if you wish. You've got some fantastic wines on the menu. Can you tell me a little bit about that, and who are your guests? Who are you finding?
So, I mean, we're very fortunate. Our guests are local people. We're very well supported by Canterbury, and we're very thankful for that. We think it's great. We want to probably work on building it a bit more, but it's going really well. I think what we truly love about the experience, every time someone comes in, they have a different experience, because they could come in and do the full meal and do a trust us with wine match if they wish. But as you said, you could come in and you could have a small plate and a drink and be happy. You might come in on a Wednesday night and say, hey, I'll have 2 or 3 small plates and that's enough for me. Yeah. But there's no expectation on the minimum or maximum you need to be here for. We're just delighted to welcome people to Inati and share and enjoy that experience.
Yeah. I like that idea of just being able to nibble and have a look and go, all right, well, I could try some squid or some. Yeah, it was.
I think it's the new. It's the more sort of. It's not new though. The way of eating, it's something that's been done for centuries, but it's not really done that westernised way where people are very used to their 3 dishes and that's them. Yeah. In their entree, their main, and their dessert. So for us, this is about breaking down some of the formulas, breaking down those barriers of the standard formula, and trying to show people there's other ways of enjoying some really unique food, and just looking after the product and making sure you're keeping the integrity about what we are serving is hugely important to me. We buy this amazing product and we want to make sure we honour it and represent it well. Yeah, yeah.
And how have people responded to it?
Phenomenally. We've been very, very just overwhelmed by response, and the local community and the support we've had from them has been amazing.
Fantastic, Simon. Thanks for your time.
No worries. Thank you. Brilliant.